Thank you for viewing the worksheet application portion of the cost of goods software from Rondex Pharma. Worksheets are based on processes that we created already. We have entered the yields and the bill of materials already. So now what we're doing is we're taking that information and we're putting them into an industrial setting. So often what we do is we compare the cost of operating a process in an Asian facility versus a Western facility. So let's have a look at a step that we looked at when we did the processes. We'll look at the cyanide addition step. So we've already prepared this step in doing an analysis. We name it. We choose a facility in which it's being done. So this would be a Western facility, and we choose a scale of operation. In this case, we choose large-scale processing of liquid intermediates. The reason why we do that is these kinds of facilities tend to be much less expensive, in which there's powder handling to be done. So we chose that because the rate of the cost rate is significantly lower. This would probably be more than twice as much in a set of equipment that can handle powder. What we have done is we have scaled this up to be at 2,000 kilos per batch. So the materials come in, and then we adjust the scale to be appropriate for the operation. And any of the reagents on the path are important. While this is a limiting reagent, we base the economic limiting reagent is still this one. So we would have entered this 2,000 kilos here, and that would have distributed throughout the entire thing. And I'll just show you how that works. Let's say that I've decided. Let's see what happens if I decide I'm going to go to 2,500 kilos. So I enter that information, and all of the other materials are scaled automatically to that particular scale factor. Any reagent can be used as a scale factor. You don't have to go by the limited. You can even change the output in order to match what your input is too. So you can do it that way as well. What you then do is you have options on which cost materials. So sometimes, for example, for a small amount of material, it's $54, but this is only $8 for a large amount of material. We collect the information. So you see, this was calculated in a previous step. So we go and select that cost, that price for this material from that previous calculation. So you see, you're starting to link this worksheet to the work from a previous worksheet in order to drag all the costs all through the process all the way finally to the end. We also can consider how many batches per week was this operated. Well, this is going to be a quite efficient operation. We think we can get in a large commercial operation. We can get at least 10 batches a week. We think it's going to take 2 men per shift to operate, and this is going to require the oversight of probably an analytical technician to do in-process controls. It's going to require the work of one technician day over the operation week of the process. So in this way, we can calculate the overhead requirements. We also calculate what the total volume is from the operation. And because we are simply making an assumption that everything that was batched into the process will need to be burned, so we make a calculation and we calculate that the cost of disposing of all the materials from this process would be about $3, which is 12% of the cost of this operation. So you see, that's really very significant consideration, which we automatically calculate for you. So all of these material numbers go here. The total cost is $25.69. The next step, this is the total cost per kilo of this product. This cost goes over into the next step that we then capture in another round. If we want to consider a variant of this, for example, and we do a save as, we can take this version and save it as a new worksheet with a different name. So what I did is I just copied that name. We'll save it as a new name. And it has to be a new name, or it won't let you do it. So it keeps all the information we have. Now we can actually change the process if we wish, but in this case we don't. We want to leave it be. we might change to a different facility, for example. And that's exactly how the Asian version was created, almost for sure. We can, for example, let's see what if we decided to do this in a large process suite, not processing for liquid intermediates instead. So we'll change the suite, and you can see the expense goes way up. Let's go to the next page. Everything is the same, 10, 2, 1. And you see what happens is the processing costs go up by almost, it's $28.39 here, and it was $26 before. So we added 10% to the cost of this material by changing to a more expensive operation. Other more extensive changes can be made at this point, but in this case, that will be the end of the worksheets discussion. Thank you very much for your attention.